What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my Draftkings MMA picks for UFC Fight Night 172, Gilbert Burns versus Tyron Woodley. Welcome back to another MMA video going over my DraftKings MMA picks. First of all, as we know, Kevin Holland is out, so unfortunately he was one of my core plays for this week, so I had to change it up a little bit, but I'm glad I'm doing this video after the news, so I wouldn't have to come back and change it, but I will be putting in the comments once the new fight is announced, whoever's going against Rodriguez, who I like there, so make sure you look back in the comments. Of course, I'll also post it on Patreon as well, but yeah, make sure you guys give this video a like. I really appreciate that. Also, subscribe if you haven't yet. Going to be posting a lot of content. DraftKings breakdown. I just posted my Gilbert Burns versus Tyron Woodley breakdown, full card breakdown, betting breakdown, and lots more. So make sure you subscribe so you do not miss out on that. Coming off of a pretty good week. I finished first. It was a $8 3-entry max. I got first in that, took down that pretty easily, so that was good. Another profitable week for me. Hopefully you guys did good as well. It was a tough card. The past two cards were really, really tough. It seemed like a bunch of fights go either way, so I just spread out my ownership and ended up getting lucky on a couple lineups and hitting on those. So really looking forward to this card. We actually have some big favorites on this card, unlike the last couple. Dern, big favorite. Roberts is a big favorite. So a lot of these fights, some of them are close, but a lot of them, you can see like a clear winner in these. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, going to go over the fight does not go to decision prop right now. Dern Cyphers minus 185. It's not often that you see a women's fight. Leading, not going to decision odds right here. I guess Vegas odds makers are thinking that Dern is going to get a submission or knockout, and I definitely do see that. If Dern takes down Cyphers, I think it'll be over like shortly after, and even if it stays standing the whole time, which I hope not, because I'm going to have a good amount of Dern. I do think Dern can possibly knock out Cyphers as well. We've seen Cyphers finish by strikes as well, so. I like Dern quite a bit. I'll get more into it later in the video, but I like Dern quite a bit. As for targeting this fight as a whole, it's probably going to be all Dern for me, no Cyphers, but definitely a fight I'm going to be pretty heavy on, definitely on the Dern side there. Quarantillo, Carlisle, minus 175. Fight does not go to decision. I think this should probably be, better odds that fight does not go to decision than, Cypher Dern. I think it should be a little bit bigger, maybe like in the minus 200 range, because I do think this is going to end early. Whether it's Carlisle in the first round or Quarantillo in the second or third round, I do think this fight's going to finish. But I'll get more into who I like later in the video, but I'm targeting both sides of this. Someone's getting finished in this fight, I believe. I would be really, really, really surprised if this went to decision. And if it does go to decision, I think it's going to be Quarantillo taking that decision there, but I think there is going to be a finish. Burns, Woodley, minus 150. Fight does not go to decision. Honestly, I can make a case for it going to decision. If it does go to decision, I think Burns will win. I went over it in my breakdown video for Burns and Woodley. If it goes to decision, I think Burns will win on slightly more output. Both guys don't throw much, but I think Burns does just a little bit more. But overall, I just see Woodley catching Burns at some point within the first 3 rounds. A fight I do not want to target too much, but since it's only a 10-fight slate, hopefully it gets up to 11 when D-Rod gets another opponent. But right now, 10-fight slate, you're going to have to target this fight. If Woodley does not get the knockout in the first, second, or third round, I don't think he's going to hit value. We've seen him go to 5-round decisions before and score like 60 points, 50, 60 points against better opponents than Burns, but still. If Woodley goes to decision, he's probably going to score like 65, 70 points maybe. Probably no takedowns, just strikes, maybe a knockdown. But other than that, if Woodley goes to decision, probably not going to be good. So Burns, I don't really see him getting many takedowns, if any at all. But yeah, I guess target this fight a little bit. Probably going to have more Woodley because of that knockout upside, but I'll definitely play some Burns as well. Elliott, Royval, minus 110. Fight does not go to decision. I do think this fight is going to finish. If it does, it's probably going to be Royval finishing. We've seen Elliott submitted many, many times, so it's really concerning playing Elliott against Royval here, because I do think Elliott makes a lot of mistakes, and that's very concerning against someone in Royval who has very, very good BJJ. But overall, I'll get into it a little bit, but I do see Elliott winning this, and probably by decision. But if there is a finish, honestly, it's probably by Royval. All right, going to get into the core plays here. Like I said, I wanted Kevin Holland in here. Kevin Holland was in here in place of Tyron Woodley, but now that there's no more Kevin Holland, had to put Tyron Woodley in there. It was my next best play. But Mackenzie Dern, 9,300, went over it a little bit. I think she's going to smash here. Best finish prop on the odds on the whole slate, and that's pretty crazy. 9,300. Maybe it scares people away, but I like Dern quite a bit. Cash is a lock for me. GPP is fine as well. I think she can finish ciphers, whether it's strikes or if she takes her down, the fight's going to be over. So hopefully it's in that first round. She gets a takedown, a couple advances, and submits ciphers, gets her out of there. But I can also see Dern knocking her out. I mean, I could see it going to decision. If it does, she probably won't pay up that 9,300 price tag, but it's definitely a risk I'm willing to take with not much, plays up here in that 9K range that really excite me. So Dern, 9,300, definitely a fine play. Billy Quarantillo, 8,600. So this fight is going to be at a catch weight. I heard a rumor that Quarantillo has been training like nonstop. So Quarantillo's ready. He's ready. He's in shape. Spike Carlisle's the one that asked for the catch weight. So I have a feeling that Spike has not been, training hard or training much. So I can see Spike coming out here like really fast, trying to get that early finish. If Spike does not get that early finish, I have a Quarantillo all day. I just think he can take over the fight. And if he does, maybe land some takedowns, maybe finish the fight that second or third round when Spike's very, very tired. I've seen fights where Spike was very, very tired, laying on the mat in between rounds after the fight, just laying down. Spike, I don't think has the best gas tank, so Quarantillo is going to be ready. But I do worry about that first round finish coming from Carlisle, so that's why I will have hedge with the Carlisle on both sides here. So definitely a fight you're going to want to target and have a good amount of. Probably I would be surprised if this fight was not on the winning lineup, honestly. So Quarantillo, like him a lot. As for cash, probably not going to touch it in cash. It'd be pretty risky because I do think there's a decent chance he could get finished in the first round. We've seen him get taken down plenty of times. Maybe Carlisle takes him down and finishes him on the mat. That could happen, or Spike can hit a big shot in the early rounds as well. So definitely playing both sides. Casey Kenny, 9,100, another cash play for me. I don't know if he's going to finish this fight, but I think he has the advantages everywhere. I think he can get multiple takedowns if he wants them. Don't see him getting submitted. Don't see him getting knocked out. I think he's better on the feet, on the mat, everywhere. So I like Kenny, 9,100, especially for a cash play. As for GPPs, maybe he gets a lot of takedowns and some advances. Just don't see that finish happening, but I do like it as a GPP play as well because I do think there can be, multiple takedowns, multiple advances. Don't necessarily see a finish, but I do think he can rack up those points with the grappling, maybe some ground strikes. If it gets on the feet, I think he's a better striker. So 9,100, definitely can see him, smashing that price tag if he does get all that grappling in. We saw grapplers do that before where they get multiple takedowns, advances, all that, and just smash the whole slate. So would not be surprised if Kenny did that here. Tyron Woodley, 8,800. Like I said, this was not originally a core play of mine, just because I think if this gets out of the second or third round, if this gets into the later rounds, I don't think Woodley's going to pay off his 8,800 price tag. If he gets that first, second, or third round knockout, he'll most likely probably be on the optimal lineup. I wouldn't, maybe not third round knockout, but first or second round knockout, I do think he'll probably be on that winning lineup. It's just he throws like 2 strikes per minute. He lands like 2 strikes per minute. Burns doesn't land much more. He lands like 3 something, low 3s per minute. So I think Burns can maybe slightly out volume him. I just see Woodley catching Burns at some point in this fight, hopefully early. I'm not going to go too much in on Woodley because I do think there is a potential he busts, and obviously he's going to be high ownership, as is Gilbert Burns, but maybe playing some lineups without the main event, I do think that's a good idea here, but I will have probably 40-45% Woodley, probably not much Burns. I just don't see a path to victory for Burns unless I don't see him knocking out Burns. I don't see him taking down, I don't see Burns knocking out Woodley. I don't see Burns taking down Woodley. Most I see is like Burns maybe winning a split, really, really close decision against Woodley, just slightly voluming him. But other than that, I just don't see a path to victory for Burns, especially one that scores too high. So not too high on this fight for a whole, but it's like a 10-fight slate. Hopefully it's 11 if D-Rod gets an opponent, but Woodley, I think he has the more upside out of the two. GPP plays. Tim Elliott, 8,700. We saw him score a massive score a couple of years ago. I forget how much point. I think it was like 170, 180, something crazy like that. But he scored a lot of points. Hopefully he does it again here. I think he has a good shot. We've seen Royval getting taken down quite a bit and controlled on the ground, giving up advances. I think Elliott can get multiple advances, multiple takedowns. This is my number one GPP play for a reason. This guy has big DraftKings scoring potential. It's just he makes mistakes on the ground. He prefers submission over position. He can give a position. He can get submitted. That's what's scary here. But high risk, high reward for Tim Elliott here. If he does not get submitted, if he does not make a mistake on the ground, I think he has extreme upside at 8,700. Multiple takedowns. Multiple advances. Maybe he gets a submission. It's just hopefully he does not make a mistake on the ground. If he does, Royval will definitely make him pay for it. So playing both sides here, but I think Elliott has the most upside out of the two. And if Royval wins, it's probably, Elliott made a mistake on the ground and Elliott got submitted. So I think upside for both guys, but Elliott definitely has like the slate breaker potential here at 8,700. Jamal Hill, 8,400. I think he is going to be a decent play if he does not get taken down. We've seen many times him getting taken down. We saw last fight with Stosic. Stosic took him down a couple times. Does not look good on the mat at all. And Abreu, I believe, is a black belt. Abreu is very good on the mat. If Abreu gets Hill down here, I really worry for Hill on the ground. I don't think Abreu will have much trouble getting Hill down, and that's why I am picking Abreu. I'll get into it more on my fight predictions on the full card breakdown, but I think Abreu can take him down multiple times, some advances. Hill's just not very good on the mat, very green on the mat, so I think Abreu can definitely take advantage. But if this stays standing, I have Hill all day if this stays standing. So maybe it does. Maybe Abreu's not able to get Hill down. Maybe Hill worked on his takedown defense and get up game. But I just see Abreu taking down Hill. But like I said, Hill's a fine play. If Hill can keep this standing, he throws a lot of volume, I think he'll be fine. I think he can pay off that 8,400 price tag with volume alone. Don't see him getting a finish. Abreu's very, very tough. Don't see Abreu getting knocked out. But I definitely can see Hill, winning a decision and like scoring like mid 80s. I don't think that there's much upside there, but I do see a path to victory where he does like hit 84, 85 points with volume alone. But I like Abreu a little bit more than Hill here, just due to the fact that I think Abreu can take Hill down and possibly even submit him. So I'll get more into that in a little bit. But Blagoy, Ivanov, 8,000. There's Sakai at 8,200 and Ivanov 8,000. Honestly, don't really want to play this fight at all. I think it's going to be low scoring. Both these guys are tough as nails. Both these guys probably aren't going to be finished. Both have never been finished. So I'm going to play the tougher guy in Ivanov here. He's honestly pretty good. I think he's a little underrated here. I think Sakai's probably the more talented fighter, but Ivanov's so tough. I think Ivanov can, maybe clinch up with Sakai against the cage, maybe get a takedown even on Sakai. But overall, not really a fight I want to target too much, but I'll take the cheaper guy to 8,000. Don't think anybody's getting knocked out. This fight, honestly, probably busts, but it is heavyweight. Anything can happen. I'm just going to go with a guy with Ivanov that I think the more experienced guy. I just like Ivanov a little bit better here, the tougher guy in my opinion. So very, very tough fight to call. Probably the closest fight on the whole slate, but probably not going to play much, but if I do, I'll probably put Ivanov in my lineups. Roosevelt Roberts, 9,200. First of all, he's a huge favorite against Brock Weaver. I mean, I definitely see why he's a big favorite, but not that big. I was expecting him to be like minus 200, something like that. So a little bit bigger of a favorite than he should be. But if he gets Weaver down, I think he can possibly get a submission here. Don't really think he's going to knock out Weaver on the feet. Hasn't been much of a knockout guy. But if he gets him down, I definitely favor Roberts so much on the ground. So Roberts is a fine GPP play. I do think there is some submission upside. I don't think Weaver's too good on the ground. So if Roberts gets Weaver on the ground early, definitely can see a submission there. Roberts has a very, very good BJJ game. So, Roberts 9,200, not a bad GPP play at all. All right, now live dogs. Klitz and Abreu went over this a little bit. But like I said, I think he can get takedowns here on Hill. I think Hill does not have the best takedown defense, does not have the best ground game. I like Abreu a decent amount. I think he gets takedowns. maybe some advances and possibly a submission at 7,800. Not going to go crazy on it because I've seen it before. Like I played Stoshik against Jamal Hill. Stoshik was not going for takedowns for some reason, then finally ended up going for takedowns and getting him easy. But I do think Abreu is better than Stoshik. I think he's going to come in here with a better game plan. Get Hill to the ground, hopefully multiple times, some advances. I just don't think Hill's good on the ground at all. But like I said, if this stays standing, I got Hill all day, so we'll just have to see. Going to be playing both sides, but my preferred play is definitely Klitz and Abreu. Brandon Royval, 7,500, touched on it a little bit. If he wins, it's probably going to be by submission. If he loses, he's probably going to get dominated by Elliott. All I can see is a path to victory for Royval is, throwing up something off of his back. Don't see him knocking out Elliott. Elliott's a tough guy. Just see Royval getting taken down. Maybe he, catches Elliott in something if Elliott makes a mistake. But other than that, he's probably going to get dominated. But you do have to play some of this guy because we've seen Elliott submitted. I don't know how much times. I know it's quite a bit, but many times before. So definitely going to play some Royval. Not a bad play at all. Vince Morales, 7,900. A fight I'm not too interested in targeting. There's Chris Gutierrez up there. I think it's 8,300. Like I said, I'm not too interested in it. First fight of the night. Usually I like targeting the first fight of the night. If I do play it, probably going to have Vince Morales here. I think he's the more dangerous guy. I think he's more likely for a knockout. If he can avoid those leg kicks of Chris Gutierrez, I think he has a nice path to victory. Just needs to up the volume, let his hands go, pressure Gutierrez. I think he has a nice path to victory there. Possibly going to knock out, but if not, probably a really, really, really close decision. Gutierrez is not really a finisher, more of a point fighter guy, so I'm not really interested in playing Gutierrez. I'd rather play, Vince Morales at 7,900. So first fight of the night, not going to go too heavy, but my preferred play is for sure Vince Morales. Spike Carlisle, 7,600. This guy's going to come out here in the first round, try to get that finish, and that's what you want. That's what you want in DraftKings. So not a bad play at all. I see a lot of people on Spike Carlisle. I necessarily don't agree, but I definitely see a path to victory for Carlisle where he can get that finish. And if he does get the finish, I do think it's in the first round. So I'm picking Quarantillo to win, but definitely going to have some Spike because I do think if he wins, it's in the first round. He's definitely going to be on the winning lineup if he does win. Pump plays, Gilbert Burns, 7,400. Nothing I'm not too in love with. I do think he's going to lose. I'm having trouble finding a path to victory for Gilbert Burns here. I don't think he's getting Woodley down. Maybe he outpoints Woodley in a decision, but even that, will it score enough to be on the winning lineup? I don't know. So not too interested in Burns here. I have a little bit just in case. It's the main event. He's going to be popular. He's probably going to be like 35-40% Gilbert Burns. I don't know. I'm just having, maybe he knocks out Woodley. I mean, he has 3 knockouts since 2015. We saw him knock out Maya. That was impressive, but Woodley has a really good chin. I just don't see him knocking out Woodley. Woodley has insanely good takedown defense, like 92%. We saw Usman take Woodley down, but, that's Kamaru Usman, the champion. So I do think Burns has improved a lot. I do think he deserves this matchup, but I think this is a huge step up in competition for him. So I like Woodley. Burns, maybe some lineups. It's just I'm finding a really hard time finding a path to victory for him. Brock Weaver, 7,000. I do think the line should be a little bit closer. If this stays on the feet, it could get a little bit dicey for Roberts. But other than that, I do think Roberts is going to win. Don't really see Weaver knocking out Roberts as well. Roberts has never been knocked out. Roberts has a really, really good chin. So path to victory for Weaver, maybe I wouldn't say a fluke knockout, but something, maybe he hits Roberts with something, but I just don't see it happening. So originally I had Rodriguez in my pump plays. I think he was a decent pump play because that fight was most likely going to finish, but since that fight is canceled, we'll have to wait to see who Rodriguez is fighting, and then I'll let you guys know in the comments. I'll pin it on there so you guys can check that out, and obviously on Patreon I'll put it on there as well. All right, fades. There's a couple I'm looking at fading. Right now, it's just Hannah Cifers, 6,900. I think she's going to get dominated, hopefully finished. We got Shevchenko, Chukagan. I'm probably going to play some Shevchenko, honestly. I think she's probably the more dangerous and better fighter out of the Chukagan and Shevchenko fight. Maybe you could play some Chukagan. Maybe Chukagan goes for takedowns. It's just she hasn't really done that in her whole career. So those are a couple I'm looking at fading. But right now it's Hannah Cifers, 6,900. Just not interested in her at all. All right, guys, that's about it. Become a member of my Patreon and receive full access to my model with all the stats you need, a customizable optimizer, premium projections, GPP lineup percentages, premium breakdown and strategy video, example cash lineup, and I also added a article. I'm going to start doing an article. It's going to have my cash core, just going over some fights and the play of the week, the fate of the week, just a lot of good stuff in the article. You can get that on the $5 regular MMA or the $10 premium. It's going to be on both. Made a promise if I got 30 patrons, I would start doing an article. So I got 30, and I'm at 50 now. So got more than I expected. So definitely doing those articles now. So make sure you guys check that out. I'll put the link in the description. Also, make sure you guys check out the video. Just check back once that matchup with Daniel Rodriguez is announced. If it even is announced, I'll let you guys know who my play is and maybe do a little comment about it. So make sure you guys check that out. And then also like this video if you enjoyed it. Also subscribe if you haven't yet. I'd really appreciate that. But yeah, that's about it, guys. And good luck. Let's get it.